fucking pulled up. It's me.
I was born in Nairobi, Kenya, and I was bicultural between the States and Kenya until I was about 12. I grew up here in New York City. I grew up in the Bronx. With the showcase Sisters of Comedy, it's about celebrating the full complexity of Black womanhood and the kind of diversity within the diaspora of Black people, like myself and other women.
That's the voice of Agunda Okeyo.
Yes.
Yes, and she's here with us today as she presents on the Sisters of Comedy, which is taking place tonight at 7:30 at Caroline's. There's a lot going on at Caroline's, so tonight you can go to Caroline's and see the Sisters of Comedy. Don't forget, Saturday, DB kicks off his...
Yes, the 12 Midnight happens this Saturday, April 21st, at midnight at Caroline's also.
Okay, now, would you consider yourself a promoter of the Sisters of Comedy, or?
No, I mean, I created the show and I produced the show, and what that means is that essentially I've had the longest running Black women-centered comedy show here in New York City, and I'm the only African woman producing stand-up in the city.
You hear that? Did she just stun on us right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I created the show because I used to work in a club. I'm part of the proletariat, right? And I just didn't see showcases where they usually had more than one Black woman. And even when I told people I wanted to do the show, they were like, you're not going to have enough talent. It's not going to work, right? Wow. This is years before Girls Trip and Tiffany Haddish getting her shine right now and all of that, Two Dope Queens. So the show essentially has been able to kind of create a premier showcase for Black women and various stages of their career, like the OGs as well as like the new bucks and everyone in between.
When I watch the works of Issa Rae with Insecure, which is really comical in many aspects, but also intellectual, and it gives you a kind of deep dive in culture. And then Two Dope Queens, when I watch their comedy, you're seeing a whole new brand and branch of comedy coming, a different voice being represented, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think right now it's actually a good time for Black women in comedy and stand-up.
Yeah.
The showcase is centered on stand-up, which is a very specific type of comedy, right? And I really think it's a big deal to be able to celebrate people who are free thinkers, outspoken people. I consider myself one of them. I write a lot about like politics and culture and issues like that. And I'm a pretty out and proud activist in a lot of different circles. So the show's all about just like Black women just speaking whatever they want to say and speaking their truth. You can go blue, you can keep it clean, whatever you want to do.
So is Ryan Coogler giving you residuals?
Not quite.
No? Okay.
No. Not quite. Not quite.
Before people saw the Black Panther movie and heard about Wakanda, you were already here.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I mean, I've been living in Wakanda my whole life. So I'm Kenyan originally. I grew up here in New York City. My whole style and approach is about creating spaces for people from the African diaspora where we can just be ourselves and we're the standard. So when you come into Sisters of Comedy, the show, right? Yeah. Like tonight, we have MCs Gina Yashere, who's she's British, Nigerian. We have Shazir Zamata on the lineup. Our special guest is actually Black Thought. So it's all about creating a space where the standard is A, Black women are definitely leading. Yeah. And then B, it's all about Black culture. And then people come into that space from different cultural backgrounds and they have that experience. So
So you don't have to be Black to enjoy it.
No, you don't. Even though you just have to recognize it's Black as fuck. I mean, you know what I mean? You just have to understand that. But that was the whole premise of creating the show, was I just don't feel comfortable in a lot of places. Yeah. Because I already was in Wakanda, like you said. You know what I'm saying? I was already there my whole life. My parents came here for their graduate education. I grew up in New York City. They were part of that whole Pan-Africanist time. Yeah. So I was raised with a lot of those ideologies. So a lot of what I do is actually essentially Pan-Africanism. But I'm just trying to find a way to make it fun and for me and for other people. So luckily I've been successful at that with the show, and I do other things as well and have other creative projects I'm trying to jump off as well.
All right, you look beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
DB?
Were you ever offended then by movies that used to play on the stereotypes of Africans, like Gods Must Be Crazy or Coming to America and, you know, like all that stuff?
Well, Gods Must Be Crazy is like bugged out. That was just like straight racist. But like, Coming to America, I love that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my thing is that I'm really excited because I'm a generation of somebody who's really at that cross section of the African and the American thing. So I am trying to have a dialogue. So like when I see Coming to America and I see what Eddie Murphy was doing, I think it was a dialogue. I think he was trying to have a dialogue. I don't think he was being like disrespectful. Or even when I watch the Jeopardy special, the Black Jeopardy special at SNL, which is hilarious because I knew they were just waiting for an African American who could have the nuance of understanding African American humor and be able to play an African. You know what I mean? And I thought that was brilliant, you know? So, I mean, my whole thing in general, I think right now, it's really important for the African diaspora to get together. I think people need to have cross-cultural dialogues across their art and their music, their film, their writing. So I'm all for it, frankly. Yeah.
Okay, so if people want to reach you and just, you know, learn more about what you're involved with, and if they want to come check out any of the shows you do with the Sisters of Comedy, how can they reach you on social media?
Yeah, so you can actually find me at Agunda Okeyo. So that's Agunda Okeyo. I'm on that handle everywhere because my name's unique.
You know you're going to have to spell that again.
So, yeah, I know, right? So Agunda Okeyo, and my website is the same. My social handles are the same.
You want to join us for some Celebrity Wire?
I would love to.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know you love celebrity drama.
Don't ask me a question like that. I'm not biting.
Especially when it's caught on camera.
No! No! Don't shut me up!
It's time for Celebrity Wire on Sway in the Morning.
Oh, God, here we go.
On Shade 45.
All right, special edition. Agunda Okeyo is here. Tracy G, what's in the news?
Yo! Okay. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Vince Staples out of California, dope rising artist. He made a lot of noise, though, in Coachella, not because of his stage performance, but because of some words he had to say about R. Kelly. Listen to this.
R. Kelly never went to jail. He's a fucking child molester.
Let's never talk about R. Kelly.
He's a child molester.
We can't ever talk about this
guy. I'm
guy.
saying he's a child molester and he pees on people and he can't read and write and he didn't go to jail. I'm a good person. R. Kelly a piece of fucking shit. So piece of fucking shit R. Kelly didn't go to jail for being a child molester and peeing on people and having a human trafficking ring in Atlanta, then I'll be all right.
Yeah, and just to give you some further context, this is the direction it went when it kicked off as a light conversation. Adeska Alexis, she was doing the interview, and she was just playing around and saying, don't get in trouble because you might get arrested at Coachella. And then that's the direction he went with it. But now, you know, because every time you say something, there's going to be a reaction. He went on Twitter and said, I just got a text saying, R. Kelly, people are looking for me. Guess it's time to get security. The Pied Piper is coming. And then with the timing of this, there's also news that R. Kelly gave a 19-year-old girl a STD.
Yeah, I saw that. That's gross.
Do you still listen to R. Kelly's music?
Nah, man. I'm over R. Kelly, like hard body. I mean, he has psychological problems as far as I'm concerned. I actually think he probably was also molested himself, considering his pathology. And you know, yeah. So it's interesting how off the cuff old boy went, but you know, I don't think he's making a certain kind of gravitation, you know, over the top point. You know
pull up some of his songs. I want to see something real quick. One of the R. Kelly song real quick.
Yeah, it's the Pied Piper of R&B.
You don't feel nothing?
Wait a minute.
I saw a head nod.
Wait a minute. That is unfair. That is some unfair. I thought we were friends here.
I'm just saying.
No, I thought we were friends. No, listen to me. No, seriously. So, I don't listen to R anymore. I don't like pull his stuff up. But no one can lie that the man is talented. We all know he's talented, right? Okay. No one's fronting on that. But real talk, I mean, the fact that he's gotten away this long with molesting all these black women, to me, that's a testament to this black man not being a black man that's for black women. So I don't really listen to him anymore.
Okay,
but I grew up on R. Kelly. I mean, how can you know?
Yeah. But in regards to that, should we separate what he's done music-wise and his talent from what he's being accused of?
I don't know if you can with R. Like, you know, I understand what you're saying, that whole thing of like, sometimes some artists have questionable, like Roman Polanski kind of, you know, there's all kinds of really
right.
And also, let's face it, I have two brothers. I'm the only girl. Dudes do dirty stuff like all the time.
Be real about
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's something where like a lot of dudes are flawed. If you really dig in the crates, a lot of these heroes that people talk about, they've done all kinds of terrible things. So I get that. But my thing is, if we can't have a standard about what we admire and revere, so that our children can actually grow up to be like decent people, I just don't get it. You know what I mean? And R. Kelly is he's done so much dirt.
Yeah. That's the voice of Agunda Okeyo. You can follow her on social media. What else you got, Tracy G?
Okay, K. Michelle is in the news because she had to go to the emergency room a couple times due to complications from removing her butt implants.
Right.
Which is a major decision to make because she was so proud of them when they were first inserted. So now she's doing the complete opposite. But she went on Twitter and was just giving an update to her fans. And she was saying it's looking like she's reached a point where she's going to have to perform in a wheelchair.
So let me ask you, over in Kenya, man, are we seeing an increase of butt implants by women in Kenya?
Son. That is not jumping off. That is not jumping off.
I mean, certain places around the world, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Florida, you're seeing an increase of cosmetic surgeries. You're not seeing that as much in Africa.
Nah, not really. I mean, one thing that's a big problem, I would say, you're talking about appearance, is lightening your skin.
Bleaching your skin.
Yeah. So there's like some people who are doing the full-on, like they literally just took all the melanin out of their skin tone. There's some people I've seen in like West Africa and South Africa who are major performers. Like they're actually like known artists, and they look albino. You know what I mean?
What is their reasoning? Like when asked about it?
Self-hate. I mean, they won't say that. I say it's self-hate.
Yeah.
You can't. You're hating yourself if you're doing that. But a lot of folks, because at the end of the day, what is plastic surgery? What is lightening your skin? It's trying to conform to a standard that you're not in, right?
So do you consider when non-melanin people or white folks or Caucasian or whatever go to suntan?
By the way, Caucasian is a misnomer because people who are Caucasians are from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, and most people who are white in this country are actually European American.
So Europeans, just white folks. Okay, yes. So when white folks go and sunbathe and suntan, is that a form of self-hate, in your opinion?
Actually, I had a professor in college who actually broke that down, if you want to know. Like,
I do.
She did all this research. I didn't know that. She's Janetta Candelario. She's at Smith College. And what she did was she explored how during, like, I guess maybe early 1900s, a lot of immigrants are coming from, like, Italy and like other parts of Europe, like poor people, Irish people. They had this, they're assimilating into whiteness because everyone had to become white. There was a process you went through, either it's changing your name or, pressing your hair or whatever you had to do. So as they were assimilating into whiteness, part of a kind of exemplifying your whiteness was showing that you could get darker. So what happened was that tanning was actually an instrumentation of whiteness. So it's like, tanning is, if you look at it historically, always related to showing that you can get darker because you're light. So it's actually like, even though technically anyone goes in the sun and you get darker, you're like, no, I'm not trying to like fault everybody who just goes in the sun. But like the actual culture around actual tanning is related to like racism. Yeah. Like, so, Janetta, you can look at her research around that.
What's her name?
Janetta Candelario. With a G.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Janetta Candelario.
Yes.
Okay, all right. How you spell that last name?
Candelario.
Write that down for me, OQ. You did good, Agunda. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's our celebrity wife.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.